Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I am about to try and fix a bug in my application before I ship to production. And let's clarify a few terms. Shipping to production, if you don't know, that means I'm going to take a set of features and I'm going to make them live. So they're not going to just live on my computer, they're going to be available on the internet for my clients. And the bug that I have to fix is a problem with the features that I'm trying to ship. And right now I'm just shipping an MVP, a minimum viable product. It doesn't have to be perfect. I'm shipping it to early adopters that are there for the ride, that are willing to pay, to get a good deal early on and not have to pay as much as everybody else will later. So they understand that it doesn't, it's not going to be perfect right out the gate, and it's understandable if there are a little bit of bugs here and there, but some bugs you just can't allow out of the gate, right? Like, I'm not going to show this to a client. I'm not going to have a bug this terrible on their website. Let's take a look. And I haven't done any actual thinking about how I'm going to fix this thing yet. I figured I would just record the process because I think it's very fun to go through the logical shenanigans of trying to solve something like this. I find it very, very fun. It's like puzzle solving. And maybe if somebody out there hasn't seen that before or experienced it, you might find it interesting. So here we go. This is an instance of my product and it's running on my local computer. That's why it's localhost right here. Let's take a look at what's going on. If I add a circle to the front of the shirt, fantastic. Let's say I go to the back of the shirt. Okay, there's a circle there. What's going on? Actually, let me reload this thing. It probably had some state that was messed up from before. So I add a circle to the front. I'm on the front, add a circle, go to the back. Okay, circle's gone. That's good. That's the behavior we want. We're adding stuff to the back of the shirt now. So I'm going to add a circle to the back, and I'm going to put it in the top right. Now when I click the front, look at that. We got a circle right here. And let's say the front is going to have two circles in the top left, and the back is going to have one circle in the bottom right, right? Front, back, front, back. No problem. And don't worry about front too. That's just something I threw in for testing. Now, here's where the error happens. If I click front again, uh-oh, all my progress is gone. That is a classic no bueno situation. We don't like to be in those. So let's try and figure out what's happening. Let's experiment. Okay, so if I go to back, is everything gone? No, it still loads everything fine. But I'm guessing that the behavior is going to be replicated if I click the back button. Yes, it is. And let me explain why I knew that would happen. Why I knew that would happen. Those front to, and back buttons, they are dynamically created based on a database call for the designer that I'm currently using. And let me explain what that means. I'm designing this tool so that I can post an infinite number of products. Let's say somebody wants to sell custom toilet paper rolls, right? And I set it up for them so they can do that. Maybe the toilet paper rolls have different areas that you can print on, and they're like front, side, middle, left. I want to dynamically populate this design tool with those areas. And so I don't have a hard-coded button for front, nor do I have a hard-coded button for back in my application. I am dynamically creating those based upon the database entry for that particular product. Hopefully that makes sense. So the functionality for front is pretty much the same for the functionality of back, but there's a different name that gets thrown around in the application. Okay, so here's where I do a little bit of I was doing some stuff earlier to try and figure out how I would build this thing, and let's kind of go through the flow. Let's go with the flow, man, and let's see what's going on. So, okay, when we are transporting the person to the designer, we are creating a drawing thing called fabric, and if it doesn't exist, we create one. Okay, is that working? I don't see why that wouldn't be working, because we know we can draw on the canvas. Like, that's functional. And then we get the current area. Now that current area is going to be front to, or back. So if I reload here and I go back to my product, I'm on front. That's how we start. That's why we know we've got this image here. And I get the current area. Do I have saved data for that area? So when I land on that area, is there something there that I've been working on already? The answer right now is no, because I just loaded it. But if I add a circle and I navigate to back, okay, that means that I just came through this arrow right here. You'll see that in a second. I'm getting the current area. The current area is back. And I'm asking my application, hey, do I have saved data for the back area? No, I don't. So I just allow edits, right? So I can add stuff to the back. I'm going to add 2 circles to the back. Whoop-de-doo. Very cool. Now I'm going to go back to the front. And when I go back to the front, I'm going to take this arrow path and I'm going to get the current area and I'm going to say, do I have any saved data for this state? And I know that I do. So it's going to load that data and it's going to show it to me. Let's check it out. Booyah! The front data has loaded and it is now displaying, and the back data has saved. So if I go load back, it's like, do I have any data? Yes, I do. If I go load front, it's like, do I have any data? Yes, I do. Now, why is it that when I click front again, everything disappears? I don't actually know. Let's try and figure this out. Let's continue. It's got something to do with the state change and the things that are happening leading up to that. And we'll jump into the code in a second. All right. So right here, I'm allowing edits. I load the data and I allow it to be edited, and I continue allowing edits to the blank canvas if there was nothing loaded. Okay, so I allow area change, and that changes the background image with the state in a React hook. That probably doesn't make a lot of sense if you don't use React. It barely makes any sense to me. But allowing area change connects to this thing right here, this area select component. And what I have done is I have logically separated a lot of the functionality of this thing into components, which are basically little folders of code. So I've got the design canvas component, and I've got the area select component. That's this column right here. And I've got the design controls component. And that design controls component contains other components like these buttons and this continue button and this export test button, right? Stuff like that. So what I'm concerned with is the change area component, and particularly what is happening when I change this area. So let's go in and take a little look-see in my actual code, because we know that right here we're allowing the area change. Let's see. When we change the area, oh, I can pretty much already tell you what the bug is. When we change the area, we serialize the canvas and save for the current area name. Wait, actually, I don't know if I, hang on. Okay, so if I'm on front area and I click back area, then I save everything in front and I clear the canvas. Hang on. I serialize the canvas. I save the front canvas in my little array, and then I navigate to the back canvas after clearing everything. Okay. But why doesn't it just serialize everything on front and then navigate to front? Oh, okay. I know what's going on. Let me paint a picture for you guys. If anybody is still watching at 8 minutes and 20 seconds, holy crap. When I'm on the front area, I serialize, I say, I'm gonna go back to the front area. You know, I'm feeling spicy, you know, I'm not clicking on back, I'm clicking on front. I'm adding my circle and I'm navigating back to the place where I already am. So what the area selector does is it says, all right, I'm gonna take everything on the canvas, which in this case is 1 circle. You know what? Let's go crazy. 2 circles. Yeah. It takes everything on the canvas and it saves it somewhere else. And then it says, all right, now I'm going to take you to the front area. But guess what? I'm already in the front area. And right before it takes me to the front area, it clears the canvas. So watch this. I'm going to click front and it's going to clear the canvas. But hang on. Every time we land on an area, don't we load the canvas? Yes, we do. But only if that area's state changes. This is where the bug is. So here's where, let me show you where that code is at. Design canvas. Right here. So we don't worry about all the other stuff. Right here, we are inside of the design canvas component, and that component is right here. Let me show you. I'm using the developer tools, and I will highlight it for you. This is my design canvas component. It's got the background image in my canvas, and it can be changed with state. And the state is, in this situation, it's the area that we're looking at. So the state of the canvas is currently that we are looking at the front area. When I click this button, the state of the canvas is we are looking at the back area. Let's go back to front. Let's add a circle. We'll go to the back. We'll go to the front. We'll go to the back. We'll go to the front. The state is changing. But check this out. If I click front twice, the state doesn't change. The state does not change. I go back, the state changes. I click back again, it's like the state doesn't change. But this change area component, this guy right here, this guy says every time you click a button, I'm going to clear the canvas anyway, and I'm going to save all your data. So what we need to have is a check in the change area component that says, okay, if your target state is different than your current state, we'll do all that. If your current state is the same as your target state, we're just going to pass on by. We're not going to do anything different, all right? So here's where that state is worried about. So my canvas is going to re-render from the stored data every time that this guy right here changes this selected printable area, and that selected printable area lives in a context, which is kind of like a shared chunk of data between all these components. You can think of it a little bit like a database. So in the area selector, I grab something from that context that is set selected printable area. When I call that function, I can change the printable area upon which we are doing operations, or upon which the design canvas is based. So when I click front, I call set selected printable area front. When I click back, I call set selected printable area back. And when I click it again, it calls it for the same thing. But because I'm calling it for the same thing, this canvas, this design canvas component, which is dependent upon that state, it doesn't realize that the state has changed because, well, it hasn't changed. If you're not following along, that's perfectly fine. I'm not really following along either. I'm just talking a lot. This is how bugs work. You just get deep into it and you're like, oh, I'm locked in. Okay. I can't believe I didn't even think of this anyway. All right. Set selected printable area. All right, so if we have a designer and we don't have a printable area that is selected, we're going to set the printable area to the default of that designer. That's fine. That's fine. And that is dependent upon the designer. When the designer changes, that default printable area will also change. Now, here's where we handle the changing of the areas. We've got our target area, and we've got our selected areas area name. Target area and area name. So I'm only going to run this stuff if those two are different. So if target dot doesn't equal selected, then we're going to do all this. Save. And I'm pretty sure the bug is fixed now. So I'm going to just reload everything for funsies, and we'll go in here. Front. Add circle. Front. Oh yeah! Oh yeah! Nothing's breaking. We go back. We go front. Check it out. We go back. We add like 30 circles. Oh wait, I just grouped them. Boom. You know what? Stop. Okay. We add a ton of circles in a smiley face. So the back of the shirt, note this, the distinct lack of deep collared dip. That's the back of a shirt if I've ever seen one. We go to front. Oh yeah, baby. And we click front again because we're feeling dangerous. Nothing changes. We go to back. Well, look, see there. We're fantastically fine. That is a bug fix, and because I am a good developer, I'm going to write a commit message. Fixed error where selecting same print area in area selector wiped canvas for that area. And I'm going to commit, and I'm going to sync my changes to GitHub. And that bug is gone. That was a particularly atrocious bug. You know, that may have been a fly. You know, in terms of annoyance of, you know, the end user, that's pretty darn bad. In terms of difficulty to fix, not too problematic. It's just a simple logic error. Yeah, but some bugs are so terrible that they require you to refactor giant swaths of your code base, and that is why I really like to draw things out like this so that I know my logic is solid and I know that I've got the stuff that I need where I need it instead of having to do stuff like prop drilling or, you know, whatever the heck else. Yeah, thanks for watching.